Just fancy here, just going to demonstrate what a live astrological reading would look like. Uh, you know, if you sat down with me and I could do it just like this, you can see my cursor here, and this is just a chart here, and I can click on the red or blue lines of the chart or the different planets, the different signs, or aspects of the chart like the houses or the rising sign, and it'll give different information over here on the right of the different relationships that are from whatever I clicked on, and then we could discuss there. For instance, in this chart, it has a red line going from the ascendant over to the moon, and that's a moon opposition ascendant. And you click on that, and you can read what it says there regarding uh, someone whose moon is opposition and ascendant. Always looking for emotional support from someone else. If you're feeling real depressed, protecting from the difficulties of the world, yada yada, blah blah blah. If your mother seems distant or is simply not around you, around when you need her, when you're older, you will look for a partner who will be a mother to you, this, that, and the other. And that, always the first thing that it shows you is your horoscope when you were younger. So if you're older, you can look back at that and hopefully seeing how that is how you felt in your earlier days. But then if you then look at the uh, interpretation by Robert Peltier, then you'll see it'll say something more like the moon opposition, the ascendant shows that you try to become personally involved in the affairs of the people you know. Subconsciously, you need someone to need you at all times, etc. And that should be how you relate to that uh, portion of your natal chart now if you're an older person. If you're a younger person, you'll probably relate more to the Robert Hand description, or if you're an older person, you'll relate to the younger description in reflection. Okay, so there's always two that you can look at when you click on these. You'll see, it gives you the interpretation from youth interpretation from Robert Hand's youth portrait, or it gives you the alternative interpretation. And everything's interactive. See, here's Jupiter, and Jupiter's in the ninth house, Jupiter's in Aquarius, and Jupiter is trine Venus, uh, this, that, and the other. And so if you click on Jupiter, it'll then show you every relationship that Jupiter was involved in on the day you were born, and you can, from where you were born at, and you can then look at that Jupiter in Aquarius, Jupiter in the ninth. It'll even show you both houses since it's borderline. It has a description for Jupiter in the ninth house and the 10th house in this particular one. And as you can see, I also said it was a Jupiter square Venus. See the blue line or the red line there is Jupiter square Venus. I'm sorry. It was Jupiter is trine Mars and square Venus. All right. So uh, Venus square Jupiter, you're optimistic and you love company, yada yada. We could talk about that. Uh, whereas Venus square, whereas Venus trine Mars trine Jupiter trine Mars. You have to say them in the right order. They go from inner to outer planet. But Mars trine Jupiter, that's this is usually regarded as lucky. You'll be able to do pretty much what you want with your life in any way you want. And for the person whose chart this is, probably be reading this, whatever, you know what I mean? We could go into the details of that. And also, there's a more adult interpretation of those aspects. So, if anyone wants to get their chart done, uh, you know, and have a live reading of it, we could sure do that. And I'd talk to some other people too that were wanting to get their band partnership charts done. And what I would do in that, relationship charts and partner charts, uh, you just go in here and you can uh, set up two people uh, and compare them, right? And there's several different ways. But what it'll do is it'll do a composite chart of the one person where their moon was when they were born and where this person's moon was when they were born. Halfway in between is the composite moon. And it'll cast a chart from there. And then we can look at the highlights of that partnership chart and what the strengths are in relationship, whether that's business or pleasure. So that's kind of how all that works. I've got all the data here. I've got the, you know what I mean? I'll just pull it up from this program and key in your exact time of birth, exact location of birth, and the day of birth. And then add it to the database, pull up the horoscope for it, and you can look at your natal chart. You can look at your daily forecast. You can look at your 6 month forecast. We can look at your partnership forecasts. Anything you want to do, just get a hold of me. All right, so that's how all that works. And uh, thanks for tuning in.